Hey, how's it going, Chris?
All right. So we had a lot of news this week, a lot of big matches booked.
A lot of stuff went down. Absolutely. Huge, huge Dominion show for New Japan last weekend. We're going to
Yeah,
be
a lot of good
talking
matches
about,
happened too. I shouldn't
and
gloss over
yeah,
that.
a
Even
lot
even
of good
though we're
matches.
looking forward to the future ones too.
Yeah, so much stuff happened at Dominion. So that's going to be one thing we're going to talk about a lot. Probably what we're going to start with, I think. And along with some match announcement that came along with that. Big Impact pay per view last night as well. So some people who haven't seen it and don't want to be spoiled will warn you for that beforehand, because there's some stuff that happened, a lot of stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Really fun week in wrestling. Did you
All
want
right.
to?
So
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. Well, I think the first thing we got to talk about is Okada versus Bryan being booked for Forbidden Door. We can't start with anything else
No,
because literally, like, what the fuck?
it's not the match I expected, and that's not a bad thing at all. I was not expecting this match for maybe like another year,
What were
if
you
it ever
expecting?
happened. For
I think we talked about it.
Okada, I was thinking
Yeah.
something like I thought maybe like Okada against Mox was going to be something
Mm.
that they might do, or they were going to do like the trios thing again and then defend it a second time kind of thing on Forbidden Door. I
That's
was
kind of
not,
yeah. I was thinking either option there too. I was really
yeah,
thinking they were going to do the singles match after like how that New Japan American show went, but it was leading to this match instead, which is way better.
yeah. So like the announcement came out of nowhere. We'll talk about the trios match that happened at Dominion later, but after the
Yeah,
match, uh, Moxley kind of set up a video and Bryanson cut one of like my personal favorite promos he's ever cut. It was a small, short video, but the lines he hit in this video were amazing. Talking about how wrestling him is being in the desert with some expletives, and that there was going to be no rain, and it got a huge pop at in Japan as well. Some yes chants in Japan, which was like pretty crazy to hear. I gotta say.
yeah, that's
Um,
crazy. They actually did yes chance.
Yeah, and you can hear the audible gasp as like you can tell they couldn't tell what his voice was, and which is totally fine. And then
Yeah,
as soon as you saw
when
his
he turned
face,
around. Yeah,
you heard the audible gasp in the audience. That was awesome. This match is a match that I don't know. You're probably in the same boat, but it's a literal, real top of the chain dream match that I wasn't sure I
yeah. I
was
think
ever
it's
gonna
the
get.
best match they could do. Like I really don't think there's a better match.
Yeah, for the pay per view and just like I mean, for me personally, it's one of the matches I've been wanting to see for like ever
And we
since I
actually
got
have
back into wrestling.
storyline build. Like they've been working. I mean, Brian was involved, but they've been doing this for a little bit. With it started with Shooter and Okada, and then
Yeah,
he brings Moxley in. Moxley brings in Claudio, and now it's up to Brian. Like they've been doing this for months, and
and I
I
didn't
didn't even
see it
realize
coming.
it. Like
Me
what?
neither. I didn't see this as the end game, just because like I don't know, like the way that Brian's booked and he's older and Okada doesn't lose a lot and he's always in storylines in New Japan. So I just didn't think this was ever realistically gonna, especially before AEW was a thing. Once AEW
Well,
was a
and
thing, it was like
losing the
maybe,
belt
but
this year to Sonata, like just I mean to anyone, it didn't even have to be to Sonata, but that was the best thing for Okada. He doesn't have to be champion, and now he can do this other stuff without the belt getting in the way.
and you're right, and I should have seen that as a big sign that he was gonna have a big match at Forbidden Door because the second they took the belt off him, and that's usually what they do. We knew last year that like was it Jay White that was champ last year?
Yeah,
Or was
Jay
it
White
still
went into
yeah?
it as a champion. I think he won it at Dominion right before the show,
That's right. But I
or
believe
like two
Okada
weeks
was getting a
before.
rematch soon enough, so you knew he wasn't
Hmm.
going to be taking a pin, and he wasn't going to be losing in a one-on-one match
Yeah,
at Forbidden Door last year. It just wasn't going to happen. But this year, I could actually see him losing, like like
yeah, I
seriously, a
could too.
clean. I could actually see him
Because
losing.
it's just a dream match.
Yeah,
You could literally do whatever finish you want. Like there may not be any more follow up. Maybe there will be in Japan. Maybe they'll keep feuding a little the groups
that's right.
or
Yeah,
whatever. But there may not be. It may literally just end at this show, and you could. It doesn't matter which one of them wins or loses.
it really doesn't.
Either or.
Neither guy is going to be hurt by losing.
The reason I think Okada is going to win is simply because Like Brian does not care. He will do a job
That's
for
true.
anyone. So that's probably like that's like an easy one for Tony. If him and Gato are having some issues, like about some other finish, be like, well, Okada's going over Brian though, like that's a big match. Like,
For sure,
so,
Brian's gonna have absolutely no, or Tony's not gonna have a problem doing that.
yeah.
The way I'm thinking about it right now is I do think they'll have more than one match. Maybe that's just me thinking forward, but I could see them having
God,
more
I
than one
wish.
match.
Like,
And the thing I could see as well is that like Okada losing against Brian could be like the start of his kind of like downfall story. Because
yeah,
right now
he's
he's
gotta
still
have that
very
at some
strong.
point. Yeah.
And like he's only lost to Sonata. We're gonna oh, that's another thing we could talk about too is altogether.
Yeah.
He had a massive win there as well over a certain someone, which was also I found very interesting. Very interesting. So he's still kind of like riding on top, and he needs to be humbled. And I could see Brian being the guy to do it and start to kind of start his arc of kind of his like quote unquote downfall for a little bit for him. Obviously, for him to come
He's
back
got to
up because
start
it's
getting beat by
Okada.
some of these young lions.
He does. I mean, I think the shooter might the I think the end game might be shooter still. It does seem that way. Just the way they're building
Yeah,
up
I think so.
shooter
I
so
think
slowly.
they've moved on to him over Rin Narita too, which I'm not
Definitely.
really sure why, other than it's just showing that he has issues with like all the young guys.
Yeah.
But because I still think Rin Narita still kind of needs some revenge too. But I don't
He
know. It does
does.
seem like they've moved on.
Yeah, it seems like they're like just by all the lineage that Shota has, I think it's gonna be like I think he's their chosen one, like regardless of what is gonna happen, who's over or not. Just by how they usually operate. I would not be shocked if that's what like Shota's eventually gonna be the guy to beat Okada. I just might be a couple more years though.
Yeah, I was
They're
gonna say
slow.
he's gonna have to fail a couple more times probably.
Oh yeah,
Lose to him in
that's
the
the New Japan
G1
story,
or
right?
yeah, maybe lose to him at Wrestle Kingdom once or even twice first.
Yeah, the Naito route, they can always go that.
Yeah.
Is it Okada that was the only one who's done it? Who's won on the first time in the first shot?
Jay White won his return match back, but it wasn't for that title. I don't
Right.
remember how that went exactly. I think didn't he beat Kenny or something? I don't
He did
remember. I
beat
think it was for the
Kenny.
US title.
He did beat Kenny for the U.S. title. I don't remember if that was back from Excursion or not, though. I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think that may have been his first match back or something. I don't know. I wasn't watching at
Right.
the time at all.
No, me neither.
I think
Not
it was
enough.
Kenny's last match, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
Though, like before he left for AEW.
He did drop it to Jay White before leaving. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this match, man, like, is it going to be like we're going to talk about the other match that was announced right after? But like, I'm not even sure. The worst part is, or the crazy part, I should say, is I'm not even sure this is going to main event.
Yeah, I don't know that either because I mean we still don't know what title matches are going to be announced, if any. For like MJF or Sonata. They probably will not main event over either of the two announced matches already, though. There's a reason they're the first two matches.
Absolutely. Like I think it's gonna be like a co-main event thing, but like I can make an argument for either or going last. Like I mean, it's Kenny in Canada for the belt, so obviously that could also.
I forgot it's in Canada too. You might be right. I think
Yeah.
that might be the reason that one ends up going last.
And that match is also going to be very interesting because I could also see either or winning, or even I could even see a time limit draw for that one too. Actually,
Well, how long would that be? An hour? 30 minutes?
Yep.
What's the rules?
Is there an official time limit? Is it all belts that are 60 minutes, or is it just the world title?
Yeah, it's a New Japan belt, so they probably go that rule. I want to say it's 60 minutes.
I would say
it might
so.
be 30.
I would prefer 60. I'm gonna be.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but yeah. So that was the big announcement. I mean, I watched Danielson's promo like I want to say like 20 times now.
Yeah, I'm so glad they replayed it on Dynamite too, because that needed to be on TV. That was great.
That was one of the points I wanted to make. So thank you for reminding me. Like they not only did they pushed it a lot on Dynamite, they pushed it a lot on other New Japan shows after that as well, and on their social media. So they're pushing the two matches they announced very hard on.
They had a whole press conference.
Yeah, that's right. They had a press conference. They both answered. some
for 2
questions.
matches.
I've never seen them do that before. So
No,
it's
it's
pretty
usually for
cool.
when they announce their entire match cards or something.
Yeah. It's usually, and it's usually like either for the whole match card or it's like the day before the pay-per-view and they all like
Yeah.
do a little scrum thing, right?
This was an impromptu Forbidden Door press conference, basically.
Yeah, so I'm sure some people will still complain about the build, but for me, this doesn't need much more than like, I mean, it's Danielson and Okada. They're both the best of all time. Let's go.
Yeah, I have no. And then Kenny and Will, I mean, they're like 2 of the best going right now still.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I said that. I don't even remember what we were talking about when I said it, like what chat or anything. But like you could argue these are the 4 best wrestlers in the world that have been booked for 2
You
singles
could argue that, yeah.
already for the pay-per-view. Like, I don't know if I would.
I would
agree.
argue
I'd have to
that.
think about it. But if those are your top 4, that's fine. That's more than acceptable.
Yeah. Like you can interchange a few guys, and I would be fine with that. But if you told me that was your 4 favorites or your 4 tops, I mean, I would have a problem with that. I mean,
And that's the
it's gonna
top
be
2
incredible.
matches at this pay-per-view. Like
Yeah.
what's the actual date though? Isn't it? It's only in 2 weeks, like 2 weeks from tomorrow, right? Or 1
Yeah.
week?
It's not next weekend, the weekend after. It's June 25th. So
25th,
not yet.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it's on a Sunday, which I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get off work that Monday, so might just be a late night.
Yeah, I'm gonna book the Monday off because
this is the time I really wish they would have done a Saturday show for this show.
Me too, and it's like I'm fairly certain it's a long weekend. Or no, it's not. It would be the weekend after. Had they done it the weekend after, they could have done it like the day before Canada Day, which would have been crazy.
Yeah, and I think the weekend after is even. I think the 4th of July for us is like on a Tuesday, so a lot of people will have that Monday off too, or just because they'll want to have a extra long weekend or something.
Yeah. But most likely, there's other sports things, and probably it's like really expensive.
New Japan also has their own shows too. Like in Japan, I know Tanahashi I think's announced for it, but other than that, I think it's like the Strong Talent. So I don't know how many big names will be on there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's a Stardom pay-per-view on that date too.
Yeah, the day of Forbidden Door, right?
There's not going to be Stardom wrestlers there. I can pretty much from what I'm reading more and
they've
more,
announced the cards and like their entire roster's booked. Yeah.
So unfortunately, like the news were saying, like if people have paid attention to some of the wrestling news, like Sasha or Mercedes was the plan, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. I heard she was actually supposed to wrestle Saraya.
I heard that too.
I think Fightful reported that.
They did report that, and I'm kind of.
I don't know how I would have felt about that.
I mean, I get the history behind it for sure.
Yeah, because Sasha was the one that injured her, right? Like when she had to retire. So I guess it's not like she injured her. She re-injured something that was already an issue. But yeah, like
the promos would have been fire. Other than the promos, though, like the match quality would have been interesting. I mean, I said it last week. Like I do think Saraya's looking better.
Yeah, I thought she looked pretty good in the Brit match for the most part.
Me too. So it could have been good, and I'm sure. Like I honestly think Mercedes would have made a good match out of it. I think she's that good.
I think it's just kind of a waste though to do just like basically just a pure WWE match on like a dream match card though. Like I agree. One's an AEW talent now and one is a New Japan talent now. Yeah, that's insane to think about in general, but like what?
I would see that as a better match for All In, even though again, like the problem is that I have so many better matches for Mercedes, and but
I'm okay with them booking Saraya in basically whatever match they think would get the best reaction for All In. Yeah, she's gonna get a great reaction at All In. I'm more than happy with her having a big feature match there.
Me too.
But Forbidden Door, not as much.
Yeah, no, I agree. And and if you put her against Mercedes, I keep wanting to say Sasha. If you put her against Mercedes at All In, like Saraya could win, and like it'd be fine. It would be fine.
So one thing before we move on, though, and talk about the other match announced on AEW. But so on Forbidden Door, I heard someone bring this up. I can't remember who. But for Jay White to be on this card, does Eddie Kingston technically have to give him permission? Or is it okay because he's an AEW talent and it's a joint show, not just a New Japan show?
Kayfabe-wise, I do think because it's half AEW and he's an AEW wrestler, it should not be an issue. Secondly,
I want to see a skit of him begging Eddie to let him on the show, though.
But what was that the stipulation both ways though, or was that just Jay's stipulation?
Actually, yeah, I think you're right. I think Jay
Yeah,
White's was no exceptions. He can't do it again.
yeah. Eddie just
So
wanted to kick his ass. He doesn't
yeah,
care. He told. Oh, but he did tell him not to come to AEW though, so they do have a built-in feud.
yeah. Whenever Eddie's, which I guess Eddie's going to be okay from his surgery soon because he's in the freaking G1.
I mean, I don't understand how he's getting that kind of surgery and he's going to be good for the G1. But hey, Eddie's going to do what he wants, and I'm super hyped for him in the
The
G1.
way the blocks are set up this year, though, we can get more into this later, but
Yeah,
I think it'll be a much easier schedule on most of these guys than usual. So should
I do
be.
think it
I
makes more
looked at
sense this way.
Eddie's schedule is not the hardest. I remember from what I saw. I can't remember exactly who's in it, but
Yeah, I'll pull up the blocks after when we get to that point
yeah.
and
But
analyze
we
that.
can go to the next big match AEW announced, which is the I assume the main event for the first Collision show. I don't.
Yeah,
They could go crazy and open with it, but who knows? But I think it was announced as the main event,
it
and it is
was.
going to be FTR and CM Punk taking on Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe, who is not announced as in Bullet Club or anything yet.
No, no, and he's had no interaction with them whatsoever.
Before we get to
Not
the
a,
match, though, did you see the stuff of him as a Sweet Tooth?
I did. I did
That looked
actually.
awesome.
Fourth posted it, and it looked really cool actually. Uh,
Yeah, I watched the whole trailer. I barely played those games as a kid, but I liked them like a lot. I just like I
yeah,
don't think I ever owned them. I think I only played them at friend's house. But yeah, it's like open memories. I forgot I had playing them when I was watching that stuff.
it's really weird seeing his body, but Will Arnett's voice.
I
But
know.
it works really well, and I really like
Yeah, I
it. I
love
think
Will
it's cool.
Arnett.
Me
So
too. He's definitely one of my guys. He kills me. He's so funny, and I kind of understand why they used Will Arnett's voice. I think like the character they're trying to get, like I think Joe's voice is too deep for it. So I kind of
yeah,
understand it.
yeah, I agree with that. Will Arnett probably is not who I would have thought of, but
No,
I definitely get doing a different voice than Joe's actual one.
it works. It's kind of like he's like a giant Joker character, kind of almost.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. But this
But
match,
anyway, yeah. So what are
um,
your thoughts on the match?
few things. One I think is going to be freaking awesome. I think the in ring is going to be great. I think that. Oh, one thing is I do think that like Jay White and I mean, I guess everybody else in the match, but Jay White especially getting an opportunity to work with CM Punk this early on, like a month into his tenure in AEW, is amazing.
I can't wait to see how much he shit talks Punk for his
Oh
promos
man,
leading up, or even not even just promos during the match. Like,
he's gonna talk some smack. He's gonna do some hilarious taunts. Freaking Juice is gonna go mental. I actually am looking forward to seeing like Punk's reaction to Juice's antics. I have actually same with Joe. I'm looking forward to seeing how Joe reacts to Juice just being a giant
yeah,
ball of
because
crazy.
at that Ring of Honor show I went to last December, at Final Battle, Joe actually fought Juice for the
Oh,
TV title at that one.
right. I kind of
I
forgot about that.
just remembered that, yeah, because it's kind of a
Good
forgettable match
call.
on that card, honestly.
I wonder if they'll
The
bring
best
that up at
part
all.
was, yeah, I was front row, and Joe was doing his thing where he sits him in the chair like at ringside, and he runs and like kicks him and stuff. He did that right beside me, like right where I
Sick.
was standing. You can see me on TV for that spot.
That's amazing.
That was crazy being that close.
Oh man. Yeah, like so that's gonna be interesting. I mean, I don't know if Joe really fits in Bullet Club, and I don't think he will join Bullet Club either. I don't really see that happening. This seems like more of like a pseudo dream match kind of thing. Like not really a dream match, but kind of like a put together bunch of really big stars fighting each other,
For
which is
your
fine.
first main event, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
which is
and I
fine.
mean,
I like it.
I think I agree with you too. I agree. He's probably not joining, but I feel like I'm in the minority. Like that, I think I'd really like it if he did.
Okay, so we can get into this because I really want I don't mind getting into this at all because there's been like I've seen both sides. A lot of people say it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of get that, but I feel like the Bullet Club has had a lot of history of people not necessarily fitting but working. Like
Yes.
I didn't think the Bucks fit at all. But then the whole group kind of just started mirroring them instead, like they changed the group almost.
That's true, and they could do that with Joe. The only thing is, I just don't see Joe taking orders. That's the one big thing that's kind of like his character
Oh,
doesn't really
see,
do that.
I think it'll be short term, if that makes more
Right.
sense, though.
Okay.
Like, I think I could see him joining, being okay. He just wants to go fight people. Maybe Jay White's giving him some kickback benefits or something. He's getting some
Yeah.
merch money, and but I could see him like give it 6 or so months, and he's probably already going to get tired of Jay.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't gone to it in my TNA watch back, but like they could do something that's like kind of like the main event mafia kind of stuff. Like he was in a group
Yeah,
before, so that part works. I do think he has the right temperament, like to like kind of like balance out Bullet Club too, because they don't really have a heavy.
they could
So
come up with a cool T-shirt. That's all I'm saying. Like,
they could
like that's what the group's all about.
like Chokeout Club or something. I don't know what
Yeah.
to come up with. Coquina Club. There's some good marketing opportunities for him to make some good shirts for sure. I would buy
Yeah,
it.
it'd be top seller, I
I
promise.
would for sure buy a Samoa Joe Bullet Club shirt. Absolutely. But yeah, like I do see what you're saying. In the short term, it could be good. It all for me. It all really depends on what story they want to tell. If they can convince me with some good kayfabe reasons as to why he's joining and it's a good angle, I'm down for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's open. Like I could really see scenarios where like we've joked about it, but I could legitimately see even like Punk himself turning,
Yep.
uh, like straight up just joining as the new leader because that's the most like cokehead booking.
It
Like
is, but can you imagine how much money they would make with Punk as the leader of Bullet
yes,
Club? The
like
shirts sale would be insane. The shirt
you could
sales
do
would be
you could do
insane.
Bullet Club logo with his little Chicago stars or something. Like
Oh
oh
my
my
god,
god.
people would be so mad too. So
And
mad.
like
It would be
that
great.
can keep FTR face because I think they're good at that and that they should
Yeah.
stay face at this point. Like I don't think that you need to turn them heel, and I think that'd be a great way to do it. Ricky's with them. They're gonna need more friends though too. I mean,
Yeah.
because we'll talk about it. We can go ahead and talk about it now. But with the guns, because I think they're gonna have a role to play in this main event. So I'm sure.
Yes.
But that's like literally like it's 5-on-3, 5-on-4 if you count Ricky with Punk in them and so like Punk's probably not turning logically. Just looking at that, since they've already seemed to have added the guns, I just feel like it doesn't make sense at this point
No,
anymore,
not right
numbers wise,
now.
because I don't think they could find that many more people to add to the FTR side.
Well, yeah, and they also like they've got they need more baby faces.
Yeah,
Like they've got Ricky and that's it right now, right? So
but I'm almost certain the guns will get involved or something. Maybe that's a catalyst. Maybe Joe gets like pissed at that. Maybe Joe actually turns face or something. I don't know. I
that
mean,
could
they
be a
might
thing
go
to
with
do.
Punk and Joe might still be the first feud, but do we even know if that's like still going to be a thing now? Since I mean, Punk has asked to work with Jay White. Apparently, I doubt that's
Yeah.
just for this one match. So
I doubt it too, and I'm sure that like both Punk and I'm sure JY is going to be like, "Hey, I'd love to work more with Punk because that's good for my
yeah,
career."
like
Like, and
I
I mean
mean,
that
he'll be
feud would
he'll
be
be main
fire.
eventing TNT on a Saturday night, which I guess is the best night. But still, like it's
I
crazy.
mean,
Like if you
it's a
think
good
about
way
it.
to make people watch.
Oh, I do have one note too. Just I happened to notice today when I was looking at something. So tonight on TNT is a Stanley Cup playoff game. So
Yeah,
this would be a night that
they would
they
be
would have the
preempted.
collision would be all fucked. Like I've just been kind of watching that like every Saturday, like trying to
Yeah,
see
it'll be
if
interesting.
there's
So
preemptions or not.
it's going to be
Because
fun
I
for
don't
the
know what they're
entire
gonna
summer.
do. What are they gonna do? Air it on a different channel? Air it on Sunday? Like that sounds terrible. I'd
Sunday
probably
is
just
a
rather
bad
air it on a
idea.
different channel, but like we've seen it with Rampage, they would rather move it to a different time than air it on a different channel, so they
Yeah,
still
which
get
is
that
weird,
rating.
but I guess
Like
because they just don't want to take away from their rating on
yeah,
that.
you air it
Makes
at the
sense.
same time. You're competing with yourself basically, where you
Yeah,
can
it
air
just
it at a
makes
different time,
sense.
and the hardcores are still going to watch it. So
That's right.
yeah,
That's right. So I could see
but I
them
don't know
maybe.
what the collision, alternative time would be. Would they go super late? I mean, for Saturday, they wouldn't be that bad.
No, Saturday they could play it after the game. That wouldn't be that big of a
Yeah.
deal. They get a good lead in at least.
That's true. They'd actually get a good rating, but it'd be one that wouldn't really count, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it would be. I don't think it would
Yeah,
be as dramatic as a Rampage, just because Rampage is 1 hour, so it gets the benefit of deleting a lot more than a 2 hour program.
that's true too. Yeah.
So I do think in that case, like it would still, it's probably still only going to do like from what Zarian and stuff were saying, like 700s is what they're looking at,
That's
just looking for a
that's what
base.
I would consider good.
Me
Like
too. Yeah.
I don't think I'm expecting that. I'm kind of expecting like low 600. I mean, what the fuck do
Yeah.
I know, really?
It's hard to say.
Um,
The
it's
thing
gonna
is,
be
like,
funny. I feel like it's gonna be close to like with NXT or something. People are gonna try to
it
make that
is.
a big fight. Will Collision beat NXT this week? Will NXT beat Collision? Like,
I mean, NXT did the top 4 this week, so it's pretty good.
you know what's funny? Like, I don't want to spend a lot of time on ratings, but wrestling's been doing so much better since Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox News.
Right? Now we
Like,
just need the
all the
sports
old
to
people are
end.
watching wrestling instead.
I know it's awesome. It's really good for Raw, especially like
So funny.
and SmackDown. SmackDown did.
I really assumed they could just plug in anyone and they keep that base. Though, honestly, I didn't think it would actually be anything noticeable, but it's all like Meltzer was talking about on one of the shows last
Really,
week.
yeah, he's saying it's making a big difference.
Yeah.
I wonder how much
I
better they
like
would be doing.
he basically, I think his verbiage was he said Fox News's ratings have tanked since they
Tanked.
fired him. Yes. Like,
Maybe they want to keep SmackDown after all then,
yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
because
Because
they did
that's
really
basically
good
all they
ratings
have
last
now
week.
is they have sports and news. That's all Fox does since they sold their entertainment library to Disney.
To Disney, yeah. So they
Like,
don't
I
have a lot
mean,
of
that's
programming.
they did that with the intention, so they were going to spend all their money on sports and news, and their sports is not doing good from what I can tell. Like
Really,
FS1 used to try to be like a ESPN competitor, and it was up
right?
there for a little while. They had some good stuff, but yeah, FS1 is they don't have shit anymore.
Damn, that's not good for
The
sports.
main Fox channel will have some like weekend sports and stuff, and I mean they have the NFL obviously. So, but yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting
Interesting, actually.
to think
Yeah,
about.
yeah, that is interesting. I wonder where that's gonna go because yeah, that's it's an. I'm very like interested to see where SmackDown's gonna go.
Yeah, me too. We can spend some time on that too. Like, I mean, just for a little bit because that's kind of like something I've been thinking about because I heard that Prime rumor and I give it like no chance of it going on Prime Video. But I'd like to see it almost just because that's like a game changer, like
It
a
would be,
major wrestling show going on like a streaming service
yeah,
instead of a traditional TV channel. Like, I
yeah.
mean, you wouldn't be able
That's
to monitor the ratings. I don't think. I don't think they released that stuff, which would be funny to watch how the the
how
discourse tries
the old
to
yeah,
go.
people would spin that whichever way they want, right?
Yeah,
But it's interesting
exactly.
because like funny you bring that up because I was watching like a Zarian, like there's like a special podcast with the WrestleNomics guys, so it's pretty interesting, and they were talking about streaming and Amazon specifically, and how Nick Khan was kind of pumping their tires quite a lot, and
Mm.
they were kind of like pitching out there that they could maybe see an NXT eventually maybe going on Prime as kind of like a test run. And I thought
That'd
that's a
be
pretty interesting
cool.
idea.
Yeah, I think I can't remember if it's on Prime or not, but some streaming service did apparently some documentary type show, maybe more reality type even. I don't know, but about the Monster Factory. It's like a wrestling training school,
Right.
and I've heard it was pretty good. I think it may have been Prime, but I don't remember for sure. I'd have to look it up. I don't even know what it's called, but probably Google it pretty easily enough. But so like yeah, that'd be kind of cool. I could see NXT doing well on that. Nick Khan was also talking on Netflix too, some
Yeah.
like saying that they need basically he was not even like talking them up necessarily, but almost like he was trying to coax them like into like getting into like some live event business, saying that they need
I
to
mean,
move
Netflix
forward
is
because all
not
the other
doing
streaming
well.
services have it. Yeah, dude, it freaking sucks. I had to I got kicked off of my my brother's girlfriend's Netflix account because they added like some location thing now. You have to be in the same household, all that
Yeah.
stuff. It's
So
been rumored forever. They finally like implemented that
it
apparently.
hasn't implemented in Canada yet because we haven't
I'm
gotten
so
booted yet.
mad.
But the second they do, probably just gonna drop it altogether.
I'm watching. I started Better Call Saul. I've never watched it before, and it's only on Netflix. So
Ah,
I've subscribed. I did my own literally today too. I was so mad. I discovered this today. I watched episodes I probably watched episode like Wednesday too, and I was fine. And then today got kicked off, so I
Oh, no.
subscribed again. But once I finish the show, I'm dropping it. Like
I do think that's where it's gonna go though, because I don't like, for example, I don't think Disney Plus is ever going to be a problem because they're such a behemoth, and like they can take that as a loss leader, no problem. Doesn't matter. They make so much money. But like a place like Netflix, like they're losing their proprietary content a lot, right? They're kind of like
with everyone starting their own. I mean, like they've lost like The
exactly.
Office. I don't even think Breaking Bad's still on there because Better Call Saul is too.
We have The Office still,
But
but we don't have. There's
oh
no.
yeah, I always forget it's different for each country too because of all the. That's something that's going to change probably. I would guess eventually, probably forever because they sign them for so long that the like agreements for who owns like the broadcasting rights in each country. But you would think with all the digital streaming, eventually that become more standardized, not like
It is.
country to country. Like
I don't want to get too political, but it's like a big thing in Canada too. Like, because the way it works here, we have to have like a minimum amount of Canadian content on broadcast television, and they
yeah,
want
I've heard
to
of
and they want
that.
to do that, and they want to bring that onto the the streaming platforms as well. Whereas right now it's
Yeah.
kind of like an area where they could kind of get away with it. So it's kind of weird, and we also have like not a lot of competition in media here. So there's like only like 3 companies for cable. It's not the funnest.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting kind of like that too, honestly. Like, it's more
Getting
than
there.
that, but everyone just keeps merging.
I know, and people are like, "Yay!" I'm like, "No, this is not good. Mergers are not good for
No, they
anybody."
sell you like when AT&T and DirecTV merged, like probably like a decade ago now. They my mom, my family, we had already had both services like before that happened. And like if you were a customer that already had both, bro, they gave you like literally the sweetest like deals you'd ever heard of in your lifetime. Like stuff like that's how they get you.
It's how to get you to stay forever. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and
wild.
my mom, she only canceled the DirecTV because when freaking tornado came through a couple years ago, it like mangled our satellite dish,
Oh, I remember.
and
Yeah, I
we were
remember.
we were without satellite for a couple of months, and she just never got it fixed and was like, "Yeah, we can save money this way." But other than that, like she had both services for like 10 years after.
That's crazy. And like, and even speaking about cable and streaming, like, I mean, cable is still going to eventually go away. Like, there's just no way around it. Other than live sports, like everything else, like doesn't get very good ratings, and if they do, it's for a
Yeah,
very short amount of time. It's gonna eventually go
yeah.
away.
I mean, and I don't know, like the sports stuff. It's gonna be weird because I mean, you still have stuff like YouTube TV and everything else
Yeah,
like
that's
that. But I
right.
mean, it's basically cable. It's just streaming instead.
Yeah, it's just digital. It's just
Like,
digitally as opposed to like, oh yeah, just goes to your computer instead. Really, it's the only difference, or your smart TV for most people nowadays.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It's literally so simple to me. I just pick up my phone and press the YouTube TV or my remote
Most
press the YouTube
likely,
TV button.
it's gonna be a generational things because like I know already like most people younger than me and like half of them or more don't have TV or never have had TV. Like as soon as they move
No.
out of the house, once they move out of the house, like they don't get cable. They just
The
stream
only reason
everything.
I have YouTube TV is literally for sports and wrestling. Like,
Yeah,
there's not
and
one
honestly,
single
I
other
don't even
reason.
consider that cable. It's different. Like it's still like I know it
Yeah.
counts. It says it counts for some Nielsen boxes and stuff like that, but
They're
it's still not
supposed
the
to
same.
supposedly factoring them in more like now.
Yeah.
But I got a notification on mine like a while back when I guess it became a thing, asking if I wanted to opt in to my
Okay.
stuff being tracked for Nielsen. So definitely there's something because I remember getting that pop
That's
up.
good that they're actually, yeah, it's gonna change. I think the way they're tracking that stuff is gonna keep changing too, because
It's
even
all just for
WWE,
advertisers anyway,
yeah,
too. Like, which it's funny because wrestling is finally starting to make like good advertising money. That was always a thing, even back when it was getting such good ratings and like the Attitude Era and stuff. Those were big ratings even for the time. Like
they
even though
were,
everything was
they
getting good
were.
ratings too, those were huge. It was a big TV event. They still weren't making shit though from advertising. They were
No,
not like
because yeah,
a
sorry, go ahead.
hot product because of like a stigma,
That's right, and
because
it was considered lowbrow, so it would get
yeah.
lowbrow type of deals for advertising.
Like
Brands didn't want
WWE
to get
getting sponsorships like from like Snickers and stuff is actually insane. Or what the one at WrestleMania this year that was like such the meme. the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and like the TurboTax. Like, but the fact that TurboTax wants to
That's
sponsor on
huge.
wrestling, like, you know,
Yeah.
like,
No, that's big for them, and
yeah.
it just goes to show you how much like other TV stuff is declining. So anything that's live now it's getting to be
Mhm.
premium advertising stuff. It's premium
People
advertising.
literally only watch live sports, and I count wrestling in that, and reality shows. Like that's
Yeah,
fucking it.
and
Like,
the news. That's pretty much it.
yeah, news. And well, like, and also, like, I was kind of more thinking more like the demo the
The
advertisers are caring
demo,
about
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
That's
news does
literally
who
just
cares?
live
Old people.
sports and reality shows. Then you do total viewerships. It's like literally just news for old people, and like you'll get shows like every now and then, like Succession, I guess, that start pulling big numbers for HBO. But like you don't even have kids stuff anymore. Like kids aren't watching TV anymore, like you were saying.
No,
Like
they're not.
they are
I
not tuning into like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon and everything at
no,
all anymore.
it's not like when, and I'm sure it was similar when you were a kid. Like it's there's not really like other than a few shows like you said like Succession, but even then those are still niche to like their audience. There's not a
Yeah,
show that everybody watches on Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights or
no.
Thursday night. It's not like that anymore. It's not like
I
you have
mean, you
one.
look at the top shows. I mean, it's wrestling. Like half
Yeah,
the time, if it's not sports, like that's the closest thing that counts. You know,
it's like
other when
yeah,
you
it's
get something like
wrestling.
Vanderpump, will be like an
Yeah, that
exception.
was
But
crazy. Just monster ratings on that show. It's
I
crazy.
actually, I think I told you this last week. I actually had someone like send me a Snapchat like of something like getting ready to watch a new episode, like one of those reunion episodes. I think it was. I was like,
Yeah.
I finally heard someone actually talk about this in a while.
Well, I finally understand. I read like some like posts and stuff. But I finally understand why it's such a big deal. Because apparently the show's
Yeah,
been around
apparently,
forever.
yeah. Or I thought it was a spinoff of another one or something.
Yeah, it's
But
not though. Apparently, it's like there was like a. So what happens? Like, there's like a cheating scandal like right before the show
yeah,
started.
a real life one.
Yeah,
Like,
a real life one, and then it just became like a huge thing that people want to
because
follow.
I saw people saying like they're basically doing like the Punk Elite drama, but they got them to work together.
Oh, well, they might still. I still think it's gonna happen one day, but we'll see what happens with that.
That's crazy.
Let's get
Yeah,
back on the rails here and maybe do Dominion.
yeah. I was gonna say let's go ahead and move into Dominion, and I'll let you start first. But well, I think I know what you'll say. So let's get your favorite match because I think it's the one I want to talk about first too.
The favorite match
Yeah,
was. Let me just pull up the card because there was a lot of
I
crazy.
already know mine. If you want me to start,
What? Yeah, you know what? I'll go first because it's actually gonna be like a little bit off track. Other than the main event, I actually really like the junior tag match. That's probably
oh
one of
yeah,
my
that was a really good one too.
I both for like the match itself and the story afterwards. I thought that was really well executed.
They swerved me with that one. Like
Yeah,
for
they got me
sure.
good. It was really well executed. The match was awesome. Really happy to see Catch 22 win. And it's like weird to say that because I'm usually not a big TJP fan, but he's
Yeah. This
begrudgingly.
United Empire like babyface turn that no one knows how it happened has been so good for all of them.
It
Like
has, and he's doing some good work. He's doing some good work. I'll give him that. His little boot
I was
spot is
actually
over.
so I don't remember how much of the Best Super Juniors you watched, but one of the shows where Francesco Akira was doing commentary with Kevin Kelly, so it was one of the ones where they were traveling and Chris Charlton wasn't there. It was during TJP's match. I don't remember who he was against, but Akira was telling him how like some of the stuff TJP would like teach him and stuff, and like I mean I'm pretty sure it was a shoot. I don't think he was just like
Yeah,
gimmicking. And I was like, oh shit, like he really like trains these people. Like I knew he was kind of more or less being like a trainer at the LA dojo for a while before he started coming to Japan more. But
yeah,
like kind of like I felt like he just kind of invited himself. He showed up early and just kind of did it like like
yeah.
and but yeah, I mean I still think that's what he's doing. It seems it's kind of because I thought he was such an odd fit with the United Empire
I
when he
thought
first
so
joined.
too.
Like
When they were heels, it made a bit more. Well, you know what? He's kind of a shit heel, but like, and yeah, I don't know. He was my least favorite member of that faction, and now I'm like, he's grown
and
on
now
me.
they've lost Dan Maloney too, which is so funny. He was like by far the most short-lived member of the faction.
Yeah, he was only there to to basically for the setup to join Bullet Club, which I thought like that was
Yeah,
awesome to set
it's
up.
pretty genius too, because I remember the commentary during some of his Best Super Junior matches about how he was supposed to have a match against Osprey, but it was Osprey got hurt. So instead, I think he wrestled someone else, and Osprey like offered him United Empire, like a spot, like instead,
Right.
like instead of having a match against Osprey or something like that. And but so like they kind of sold it like he said something like in his backstage interview about Osprey was like scared to fight him, so he wanted him
Hmm.
on his side, but something like that. Like I was like, oh, that all kind of fits.
Yeah,
Like
it
it
was
was like a
great.
long-term plan. Like he was never planned to be United Empire.
I think him paired up with Connors is awesome too. I think that's going to be a
That's a
sick
good junior
match.
tag team for
Yeah,
sure.
man.
Like I'm actually really excited for the junior tag league this year, and that's been their worst one the last couple of years.
Yeah, they
Really,
just don't have.
both tag leagues have been, honestly.
Yeah, that's not always the best, and even the junior one, it hasn't quite been the same since the days of like when it was like the Bucks and Roppongi Vice and
I never even watched those two. Like I wasn't watching New Japan as in depth then. I
yeah,
mostly just
I was
watched like
watching a
the
little bit,
G1 and Wrestle Kingdom. So
but they were like there's some legitimately like crazy
yeah,
good
one
teams.
year they only did like 6 teams. Like I think it was like 2020 or 2021 because of COVID. It was rough, man. Like
They should be able to
6 teams, empty arena. Like
they should like bring some impact in AEW teams this year. Hopefully, that'd be good.
yeah, Bay and Ace would be great.
Oh
They
yeah,
didn't do
yeah,
the best
yeah.
of Super Juniors, but if they could do tag league, that'd be awesome.
I could even see them
You
winning,
could
honestly.
do, I mean, Kushida and Kevin Knight probably if they're still a thing, even
Yeah,
though Kevin Knight's not a junior, but they could still pretend he is. Like they do that all the time. Like when
yeah, like
Alex Zane did his last Best of Super Junior thing, like
it
bro,
was
he
huge.
looked like he was like 250. Like he was not less than 100 kilograms.
Absolutely not. He's a big dude.
Yeah,
so
I'm
so
glad they're not trying to push like Alex Coughlin as one
oh my,
anymore.
can you imagine? That would just be a joke. This dude needs to
Yeah,
be in
he's
the
he's in
heavyweights
the
right
in the
away.
G1, but yeah, we go on with Dominion though.
But what was yours? What was your favorite?
That 6 man, the Blackpool Combat
Yeah.
Club versus Chaos. It was it was Okada, Ishii, and Tanahashi. So not technically Chaos, but the 6 man tag team champions. Which I really wanted a title change. Honestly, I
Me
thought it was
too.
going to happen towards the end, but wasn't meant to be.
That match. Okay, so many things from that match. Claudio being super over was amazing. Claudio
Yeah,
doing his first appearance in New Japan, and he looked like it almost made me sad in a way because like man, as if it took this long because this dude is like so built for Japan, it's not even funny. Like,
yeah,
like
it's crazy, and he
he
was
would have been world
so
champion.
like I know he always looks big, but I swear he just legitimately just looks bigger every time I see him now. Like
His
every
shoulders look
appearance from one week
huge.
to the next. Yeah, like it's insane.
He's definitely working out a lot, and like he looked
My
huge in that
favorite spot
match.
of the match was his giant swing. Like was
On
it to Okada or
Okada,
was it
it was
Tanahashi?
Okada.
Yeah, it was
It was
Okada.
Okada
That's right.
because
Yeah,
it looked hilarious because Okada's a big
he's
dude too.
tall.
So he was like, it
You want
took
to hear
like half
something
the ring.
hilarious though? So when I was at home earlier this week, I was just putting on some like random wrestling, and I just do like a randomizer, like with this list on this website that it's like I think it's like all like cards that Meltzer rated like at least half the matches or something. So it's
Okay.
like a decent list of basically every pay per view in wrestling history because he didn't miss very many, and I just like randomize it so it's like picking rate. It could be rated really high, rated really low. It doesn't matter. I got freaking Battleground 2014, no 2013, which is like I'm pretty sure it was also voted like worst show of the year that
Oh
year.
no.
So I'd seen it before because I think I reviewed it when I was doing that stupid thread where I reviewed those. But there was a spot in the most random ass match that was the craziest shit ever. It was the Real Americans, which is Cesaro, so Claudio, and Jake Hager as Jack Swagger, managed by Zeb Coulter, who is Dutch Mantel that we were talking about earlier this week,
Yeah.
doing their anti-immigration gimmick. They were in Buffalo. They were talking about Canadians sneaking over the border for this one.
Oh my
They were in
god.
Buffalo. Yeah, it was funny. What just a little aside, what I didn't realize was how much like commentary was just burying him, like too, which was kind of funny.
Claudio?
No, Zeb.
Zeb? Okay.
This whole thing it was about being ridiculous. But it was two, fairly good workers. I was pretty high on Swagger at the time, even, and I actually liked this team. They were good in the ring. Their opponents were Santino Marella, the Great Khali, who were managed by Hornswoggle.
Why?
This match got like 10 minutes.
What?
It was not bad, but the finish of the match. You remember we were freaking out when Claudio beat Jericho with the swing?
Yeah.
That was not the first time. I can't believe I forgot about
Did
this. Did
he tap Kelly?
He didn't tap him, but he swung him about 15 or 20 times. And the crowd, the roof, it was like the hottest the crowd was the whole night, except for one other very exceptional match, which had a story behind it. He swung him, and the crowd just went nuts. And then he pinned him right after. He just stacked him up after the swing.
That's amazing.
The Great Khali with a swing, and they were the heels. And the commentary was going nuts, putting him over. The crowd was going nuts. I was like, "What universe is this? What is happening right now? What was the year 2013?"
Man, I'm actually surprised that Vince would ever let that swing be a finish to anything. That's actually shocking. Bro, it just doesn't seem like a thing he would do.
I can't believe he did it. I can't believe he could do that. I can't believe Khali agreed to take that. He was huge.
First of all,
at
yes.
This point.
He must have been 4 bills.
He was never fat, but he was just such a large man. And I mean, I think he has gigantism.
He does.
What it's called, where you keep growing. So I mean, he never stopped growing his whole WWE run. This was pretty late into it because this was 2013. He debuted in 2006. So
right.
It was crazy. He could barely walk. And he got this man in a swing.
It just goes to show you, man. I think Claudio might be legitimately the strongest man in all of wrestling. Pound for pound, he's so even.
He was my highlight of this match, and I do want to mention too the Dynamite match against the other Chaos team.
That ruled, man.
Best friend. He was the highlight of that one too. Claudio has been the highlight of this. It's just everything he's been in for months now. I even said he out-promoted Eddie Kingston once.
That one time.
What universe would I ever have said that? Yeah, about that one promo, that sit down they had. The man has just been on fire.
He's having a great freaking run. And he's ROH World Champion, which we always forget. But he's also that.
Yeah, he always has the belt too. But yeah,
I always forget just because
and he defends it on most weeks of the TV. Honestly,
he does.
They might be throwaway matches like Serpentico. They did that one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he'll either defend it or he'll do his little. I always forget what they're called. Proving ground. That's what's called. Proving ground matches.
Yeah. Proving ground.
That's what they're called. They're good. Yeah, something like that. They're basically just eliminator matches.
I think proving ground was a WWE term for something. I don't know. No, they're proving ground matches. They are.
Yeah, it's like it's like the ROH eliminator.
Too many of these terms.
I know they all have their little branded terms, but yeah, he's been amazing, man. I
wish he was in the G1. Honestly, could you imagine him and Eddie meeting again in a G1 too, just to further that feud? That'd be the way the feud's furthered. Oh my god,
that'd be amazing.
But I get why they'd have to give him up for a month. I don't know what the dates of the G1 are. I think it's about a month.
Oh yeah, I know why that's not happening. Then I could tell you exactly why that's not happening because I'm 99% sure by the way Zarian and other people are hinting is that the July show is going to be Blood and Guts.
The Boston one that we have been talking about too. Yeah, that's
it's
what
Zarian
said. Yeah, Zarian said he's been thinking that for a while.
Well, it's a massive venue. How they're going to need something.
Yeah, it's the basketball stadium.
They're going to need something big to fill that up.
So G1 goes from July 15th to August 13th.
Okay.
So that's the finals and everything.
Okay. When's the July show? Let me check.
I think it's mid-July, maybe close to the beginning.
Yeah, I think so too. We'll check real quick when that is. Yeah, it's the 19th. It's the 19th. So it's right in the middle.
Oh, okay. I have the G1 blocks up right now too. If we want to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, we should. That was part of the Dominion anyways. So
it's just weird. I'll read them off real quick, a block at a time, and then I'll kind of. I don't know. The blocks are weird. I feel like they did not They didn't put the blocks together like I would. I'll just say that much.
Yeah,
But
I've seen a lot of people complain already.
so the A block is going to be Sonata, who's the world heavyweight champion. If he wins, he would technically pick his Wrestle Kingdom opponent.
Right.
I think he's teased. Who did he? I think he teased Taichi, his stablemate.
That would make
something like
sense.
that. I mean, I think there's no way that happens, but that would be very
No.
interesting if he actually did that.
There's no way that's happening
Then
at
there's-
Wrestle Kingdom.
So also in A block with Sonata is Chase Owens. Like, honestly, who the
Whatever.
fuck cares? Hikuleo, which is actually his debut. I didn't realize. I thought he was in last year for some
Me
reason.
too.
That's intriguing. I'm cool with Hikuleo making a debut entry. And then also Renrita, his debut entry too. Shota Umino debut. Yoda Tsuji debut. Gabe Kidd debut. And then Kaito Kiyomiya debut. Like, why is Okada not in this block? That's everyone Okada should have been with.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why they're not doing that. I'm guessing,
but I do like they really stacked the debuts. Every single person's a debut besides Chase and Sonata. Like,
yep.
What?
And quite frankly, it's a pretty crazy block, other than Chase Owens.
Yeah,
and Hikuleo.
It's just so weird because I've seen the three young lions wrestle each other a lot. Even Gabe Kidd, actually, he was in Japan for a while in the pandemic and was wrestling Narita, Umino, and Tsuji like a lot. Well, actually, Shooter wasn't there; he was in England already. But like, I don't know, like why I want to see them mix it up with. I guess they're all fighting Sonata, which that's intriguing. But I mean, you could sell it like kayfabe. Sonata got like the as champion, got the beneficial seating with all the young, the recently graduates.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, is it beneficial though? Because he almost lost to Tsuji.
That is true.
So he's
and then Kiyomiya in there is really interesting too. Like him and Sonata having.
I have no idea how because I could see Kaito winning the block, but
yeah, they're calling this the youth group apparently.
Okay. I don't know. I like A block a lot. Other than, like you said, I was expecting at the very least Kaito and Okada to be in the same block and not.
Yeah, I'll be okay if they can meet in like the semis or quarters or however it's set up.
Yeah.
However they work that. I've like tried to book like round robin stuff on like just like TEW and stuff, and it's complicated getting it all to play out like you want.
It is.
Doing it like this with 4 blocks and like quarters and semis and the like top of one facing the second of the other one, trying to plan stories around all of that just sounds like a nightmare.
And there's going to be a bunch of bullshit tiebreakers.
Oh my god. Yeah. Thankfully top 2 advanced this time though.
Yeah.
Like
so who do you
leaves room?
Let's play this game then. Who do you think is going to be your top 2 coming out of block A?
Sonata is definitely going to do it, and it needs to be Kaito. I think Kaito Kiyomiya, because I think it's almost a waste to have him in there if he doesn't make it out. If not, though, I mean, they could even have Sonata not too. I mean, just have some upsets, something crazy.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see Tsuji out of the other young guys, just because he looks so good in that Dominion main event.
Yeah,
I see enough of Shooter, like nothing against him, but I can do with not having him make it out of the block.
He's feuding with Okada anyway.
Really, yeah.
As long as Okada's not champion, he doesn't need to win anything.
Yeah, but I think it's a given Sonata's going to as champion.
Yeah, that's pretty much how New Japan operates. It's possible he doesn't win his block.
But... Yeah, if it was top 1, I could see him not getting the
top
spot. But top 2, I can't see Sonata not being top 2.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Weird tiebreak thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you on that one. I think it's going to be Sonata and either Tsuji or Kaito. That makes the most sense for me.
Yeah, they don't have a special name for B block, sadly, but it's made up of Okada, and then Yoshihashi, Taichi, Kenta, Great Okan, Will Ospreay, the returning Tangaloa, and El Phantasmo. So that's a pretty strong block. I could see that's an open block. Like
that's big.
Okada's probably making it out, so I'll rule him out. I'd like to see El Phantasmo. Or probably Taichi. Those are the 2. Well, fuck, Will Ospreay's in this.
But there's Ospreay. That's the problem.
I forgot. Yeah, I didn't even notice
that's what I mean. Like, I can see Taichi for the story, but
no, Taichi's probably not making that.
No.
Ah,
I think it's gonna
man,
be
yeah, that's a
Osprey and
tough one.
Okada. I think it's gonna be Osprey and
Yeah, I
Okada.
think Osprey Okada, unless they just want to like boom us with something, a left field. Tongaloa is not making it.
No,
Yoshihashi's not going to make it.
those
Kenta's
are out
not
of the
going to
picture.
Kenta's not going to want to wrestle extra matches. Great O'Khan, he might have a good showing, but he's not going to make it out.
How are Kenta matches? Like some people like them, some people think they're pretty bad now. Like, what's your opinion on?
Oh, I love him for the most part. Sometimes he does go full House of Torture though, and those can be brutal. But I mean, when he tries, which is fairly often, it's. I mean, even like the Hikuleo match was straight like clusterfuck, but it was great.
Okay.
I liked it a lot. Some people did hate it a lot, but I had no issues.
We're gonna time out on this block for a second since we're talking about Kenta, and what's your opinion on the Kenta Punk rumors, and would you like that match?
Oh, I hope the
Yeah.
match happens. Yeah, I would. I've wanted that match for years, like since he was in WWE, and I was like, there's Punk came back and did that WWE backstage thing. Kenta was still there at the time, and I was like, when he came back and did that thing, I was like 100% convinced. I'm like, okay, he's eventually re-signing with the company,
Right.
and I think he would have if AEW wouldn't have been a thing. I do think he eventually would have, because he just had the itch to come
Yeah.
back. Like, I mean, he said that himself. Like, he would have found a way. I mean, and but yeah, I mean, I've wanted the match since then. They would never let Kenta do the GTS in WWE. Like, it was very rare. He did it like twice. I think he did it at a house show one time too. But there's like fan cam footage, and people just went nuts because he teased it sometimes.
What
He
was
just
his
never did it.
finisher? I don't remember now.
I don't even remember. I think he did.
Wasn't it a variation of the
Nah, I don't
GTS?
think. No, it was something completely different.
I thought
I want to say it was like a diving move or
because
something.
I thought that he was doing it, and then he busted some dude's face with it like twice, and then that's when he stopped doing it.
I think
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
That's like no, I think that's mostly right because I think it was like maybe that house show time I'm thinking of. I think he did bust the face. It was like the first time he did it, so they're like, all right, never again.
Yeah, they don't like these knees to the face moves in WWE. Like they.
Well, have you seen Zoe Stark's finish? Bro, it's fucking insane. She busted up Becky.
Yeah,
Like,
I can see that. I can see that leaving at some
it's
point.
weird. She always hit it so good on NXT though, and they always sold it well. But so far, like just about every time she's done on the main roster, it's been fucked. Okay, I just looked it up. Someone like Pro Wrestling Wikia. I was gonna say his finish. I thought was he just did a diving foot stomp, but I was like, no, Finn's doing that. He wouldn't have been doing that.
It
too.
was?
But it says as Hideo Itami, his finisher was a diving foot stomp. Along with the GTS is on here. It says a corkscrew roundhouse kick to a kneeling opponent, shotgun kick, which is a running drop kick, and the Rings of Saturn.
That's right.
Which,
yeah, I think he changed. I think he switched to the foot stomp during 205 Live after he busted somebody open. I have a weird. I think that's how it went.
Right,
but I'm going off my memory.
Yeah, I was remembering a foot stomp, but I was like, no, like Finn was doing.
I remember
that,
it now, though.
I guess they both.
I think it was looked pretty all right. He like stayed crouched a lot. Like Finn does. He did it pretty much the same way.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so we'll move on to the C block, which let me see if they got a cool name in here too. The High Impact Group is what they're calling this one. So it's got David Finlay, Tomohiro Ishii, Evil in the High Impact Group. Bro, this is his 8th consecutive G1 too. Evil, that's insane. But Tama Tonga's in this. Shingo Takagi, he is High Impact. That I agree with. Aaron Hanare, he'll probably have a pretty good showing. He won't get a lot of points, but I bet he'll have some good performances. Eddie Kingston making his G1 debut, and Mikey Nichols, which is actually this is his G1 debut too. I'm pretty sure he's been in some of Noah's like in ones.
He's done N1.
Him and Haste were in Noah for before WWE for a little while.
Shingo Eddie Kingston is gonna fucking slap. I'll say that.
That's gonna be great. I want to see Eddie versus Finlay. I think this is just the fantasy book Eddie block for me. Eddie Ishii. I think we've seen that. Didn't they do that on a?
I'm
AEW
fairly
show?
certain they have. It rocked.
Perfect for that rematch. I'm actually kind of want to see what Eddie does with the House of Torture.
I was about to say the same thing. Him
if they go full comedy, it could actually be hilarious. Give Eddie a night off, let him do some comedies. He was in Chicago.
He can do it, and I find because his serious demeanor actually like contrasts the comedy really well. It makes it even funnier.
Yeah. I think I'll have a good match with Tama
Yeah,
That
should be
sounds
fine.
sounds fine. They'll probably be like one of Tama's best matches in this. I bet he has Tama and Finley's best matches in tournaments.
Agreed.
I'm calling that now.
And Finley's winning. Finley's gonna win the block.
Aaron Inari, that's an interesting one. I think he's a good striker, and so him and Eddie will probably just hit the shit out of each
Sounds
other.
fine. I could see Eddie winning the block.
And then Mikey Nichols, they'll have a good one too. Mikey Nichols is probably a guy like he's gonna get the most random wins of this block, probably just like spoil someone.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him in there, but that's kind of weird. Him and Shane Hayes both in here, kind of like, yeah.
Least exciting young guys that are in there for me.
Yeah. Like, I'm really disappointed before we move on to the next one that Filthy Tom Lawler didn't come back.
Yeah.
It's probably my only disappointment.
He's a good hand in those tournaments. And he's funny and he doesn't really mind taking losses. Who do you got winning these? Who do you got in top 2 in this block?
I'm gonna be so mad if Eddie Kingston is not in the top 2, so he can move on. But other than that, I would go Shingo or David Finley. I think they'll probably go with Finley. Might be the smarter thing right now. Just push the Bullet Club stuff more. Even if he's not going to win, which he shouldn't probably, but you at least let him advance.
Yeah.
Shingo would just be personally just for the matches. I would like.
Me too. I think it's going to be Finley and one of Kingston or Shingo. Probably not both.
Yeah. I could easily see Kingston not making it too, just because they do that for their debut entrance a
especially
lot.
Foreigners. It's just how it is.
But the Best of Super Juniors was not like
that's
that.
true.
So that kind of
they did bring them all with Mike Bailey and Titan, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and so then the D block here, no fancy name for it, so they only did that for 2 of them. But it's got Tanahashi making his 22nd consecutive and overall G1
appearance. 22
years in a row, bro. With Tetsuya Naito making his 14th consecutive and 14th overall. It's insane to me that these are all consecutive too. And then, God, this block is insane. Hiroki Goto making his 16th consecutive overall G1 appearance. And Zack Sabre Jr. making his meager 7th consecutive in overall.
Much more conservative number.
And Toru Yano making his 17th consecutive, but 18th overall. So he actually did have a break, but 17 in a row.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 18th overall. Jeff Cobb making his 5th and his 5th consecutive. That's a good one. I'm glad he's been there all 5 years, the last 5, since I started watching New Japan again. And then Shane Hayes making his debut, just like his partner in the other block. And Alex Coughlin, which is I'm so glad he's in this block with these people. Because I want to see him versus Zach.
Zach and Tanahashi.
Jeff Cobb, my God.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. That's a nice block.
Yeah, Tanahashi too. It's going to be interesting to see how he goes. Because, man, he's hurting. Like,
it's looking slow.
He broke his ribs in that American show, and I think it's just been fucking him up ever since. Like, and I mean, hopefully, like, he's got a Yano match. They could do something with like Zach, where Zach like rolls him up in like 2 minutes. They do those sometimes. Like give him a break at that one. Him and Naito can do nothing for 15 minutes, and it'll be great. So he's probably good there. Goto, they don't have to do a lot either. They can get heat. They've done enough. Cobb's gonna fucking kill him though.
He's good.
And so is Coughlin. Like, I'm worried about those two. I don't even know. Shane Hayes is probably. I don't imagine he's gonna do very good either.
He might go 0, and he might like not even win a single one.
Yeah. So, but to make it out of this one, I don't think Tanahashi's gonna make it out. I don't think they need him to. I think Naito should, and I think he should probably win this to face Sonata at Wrestle Kingdom.
I'd love that.
I think that's the Wrestle Kingdom match.
I think Sonata
is. I saw some people joke about fucking Evil for basically the same storyline reason. I was like, no,
do not do that.
They're obviously joking, but don't even speak that into existence. Gato will do it. But no, that's the story. It fits with Naito. It fits with their whole feud they've been doing with the factions. If it's been Naito's storyline of years now trying to get back into the Wrestle Kingdom main event, and this is a story built for him almost that he can actually win. Now, do I have faith they do it? No, I really don't. Like at this point, but that's what I think. That's my pick. No, I really don't even know. Like Okada, I think maybe not. Well, no, it still could be because then he could still do whatever the fuck he wants for the rest of the year, and then just get in the Wrestle Kingdom main event again. Like. So yeah, I could actually see it being Okada, but yeah, I want Naito to win. As for the second, I would pick Zach just so he can have a couple more matches at least. Just because he's so good in these tournaments.
Who else is there? It's not going to be Coughlin. That's impossible.
So Tanahashi, Naito, Goto, probably not Goto. Zach, Toriano's not making it out. Jeff Cobb could. That would be a option.
He's booked seriously.
Yeah, and then Shane Haste is not, and Coughlin probably
won't.
That would be amazing shot.
It would be amazing, but he hasn't been built up to do anything, so I really don't see that happening.
No, not yet, but yeah, I want to see him just suplex some people.
Yeah, I think Naito is going to win that block and probably go to the. I think Naito's probably going to be at the very least in the semis, probably in the finals. But it depends, because I can see Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom too. I really can. It's hard to say. It really depends on what story they want to tell, and if Sonata's still going to be champion. That's a big thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's definitely not even a guarantee. That's just kind of what I'm operating on.
I mean, it's might as well.
I'm looking at the cards now, so it looks like the schedule, over that month, they're doing 2 blocks a night. So it'll be like A and B block one day, and then C and D the next day. I don't know if that means it's going to be all tournament matches or if they're going to do those bullshit like undercard tags. I hope it's just all tournament matches like the Super Juniors.
Yeah, that was great
because that was so much better. And with the 4 blocks, like it's not near as hard. And then let's see, and then we get to Saturday, August 5th. It's the final A block matches. So just this is basically the best Super Junior schedule, just with 2 more blocks, because it's 4 days of where it's the last matches of each block. They did that with the Super Juniors too. It was like 1 whole day of A block and then 1 whole day of B block. They're doing that with all 4, and then actually, I'm going to peek these cards real quick to see what interesting matches they have for the last day of block, because who knows what could happen there. So A block is Sonata versus Chase, Kaito Kiyomiya versus Ren Narita, Shota Umino versus Hikuleo, and Yota Tsuji versus Gabe Kidd. B block is Taichi versus Great Okan. See, that'll probably be nothing. El Phantasmo versus Will Ospreay is the final B block match. Okada versus Tangaloa, and Kenta versus Yoshihashi. So ELP versus Ospreay, that's intriguing for a last day match, I would say.
Very interesting.
Let's see. C block is Ishii versus Mikey Nichols, Tama Tonga versus Aaron Hinare, Evil versus Shingo, and Eddie Kingston versus David Finlay. That could be a block.
I could see that absolutely. Oh, and there's some Jay White.
D block, Goto versus Zach, Jeff Cobb versus Shane Haste, and Naito versus Tanahashi is the last day of D block.
That's probably going to be a block decider too.
And then fucking Yano versus Coughlin. And then so Thursday, August 10th is the quarterfinals. So it's A's top seed versus C's runner-up, B top versus D number 2, and so forth. It goes like that. I'm not gonna bother reading the rest. So all the quarterfinals in one day, though.
Which block is Okada in? B?
That was B. So say if he's B number 1, it would be D. So and that would even mean
he's probably not going to fight Kaito at all.
No, I think it would have to be. Finals. It would be the semifinals. It would be the semifinals. It looks like, yeah.
I mean, it's still possible.
Well, no. That depends. It depends if they're first or second.
That's true too. That's true too. That's true.
Yeah, yep. But definitely, it's definitely not quarterfinals.
Imagine if that's the final though. That'd be insane.
Yeah, but so it's 1 whole night of quarterfinals, then 1 whole night of semifinals, and which I assume they'll probably have undercard tags for that one, and then the finals is Sunday, August 13th.
Like a pay-per-view usually.
That's a weekend. That's nice. So well, it's just on World for no extra
Oh, okay,
cost, but yeah.
okay.
They treat that like a big major show though. But so the semifinals are actually the 12th and the finals are the 13th. That's a Saturday and a Sunday.
Interesting.
So we'll be able to wake up Saturday and Sunday and watch
That's
both.
not bad, actually. That's not bad at
Yeah,
all.
that'll be nice. Yeah. That's a good schedule. I like the
I
schedule
mean, it's
this
good.
year.
Yeah. So, and I do think it's a wide open G1. Like, there's a lot of people like we've talked about that could legitimately win here.
Yeah. One last thing for New Japan though, before we can move on to Impact for the rest of this, since we went way over with some other
Yeah.
stuff. But we gotta talk about the Moxley and El Desperado rivalry, which is also renewed. Like Moxley's just feuding with everybody now.
Despy, man. Despy had a weekend.
So yeah, I didn't watch the
Oh man, it
GCW
was good.
shows,
It was
but I saw a
good.
lot of highlights on the Twitter, especially of
It
Despi's
was
matches,
badass, man.
and also the Rina Yamashita and Masha Slamovich match too. That was
Fantastic
insane.
weekend for GCW.
Yeah, so what happened was I believe it was at the second show, the Cage of Survival, right? Despy called
He
out
did,
John
yeah.
Moxley, or was that in
It,
New Japan show? It was
it
at
was
a
at
GCW show.
GCW, so
Okay,
he
yeah,
won his match against Janela, and then he cut a promo in
yeah.
Japanese, and then yeah, he called out John Moxley straight up. It wasn't really like sure if like it was gonna be in. Like, I thought it was just gonna be like a GCW
So they had a match last year. I don't remember if you said you had watched it or not, but it was at the Tennessee New Japan America Strong Pick
match. I
Whatever pay
don't
per
think I've
view.
seen that
It was like
match.
Music City Mayhem or something. It was a weird one. It was like SummerSlam weekend, and they kind of had like a little mini collective there
Right.
with like the I think it was what's his name, Conrad Thompson, his little thing. You know, was Ric Flair's last match last year?
It was.
Yes, that was
Yep.
last year too. So it was during all of this basically. They were all doing a little basically mooching off SummerSlam and everything else. And New Japan did a show, and Moxley versus Desperado was booked on it. I don't think it was advertised as a death match, but they had a death match. Like, they did the cut up cans
Yeah, they
gimmick,
did
and
that in the
like,
Janela match as
bro,
well.
it was crazy. That's like Despi's thing. Apparently, I see it in every death match he does. Like it looks so bad.
It's nasty, bro.
Like, and I notice he usually does not take the bump himself.
It's a psycho like that. You're just like, no, it's for you.
But yeah, so the match is apparently at the New Japan Strong Independence Day. I don't know if it's July 4th or 5th. Which that's I think July 4th is on a Tuesday. So what are those is that a Tuesday and a Wednesday pay-per-view card? That's weird. I'm thinking that because of work and like my fucking uncle's wedding. I've been trying to like keep track of what
It
days
is the
on what
Monday and
day of the
Tuesday, so
week.
it's gonna be weird.
I think it's the 4th and 5th are the dates of that show. So that's weird. But anyway, so it's going to be Moxley bringing in Homicide of all fucking people to New Japan Pro Wrestling, which he's wrestled on Strong a lot. So it's not like a debut or anything, but I believe it's his New Japan debut, unless maybe he's done some stuff I forgot about against Despy and a mystery partner. Which, unless it's like an obvious like Suzuki, I have no idea.
I have an idea because I watched GCW. So I've read what people think it might be, and it makes a lot of sense. It might be Jun Kasai.
Oh yes, I have heard that too. That would be, I mean, that would fit.
It makes a
So
lot of
much.
sense with both the GCW
That would be
story.
perfect.
It would
Yeah.
pretty much be like a pseudo death match, anyways. Like
It's gonna be. I 100%. They're gonna
and
have
it's in
forks. I
Japan.
guarantee you, they're gonna have
It's
forks.
in Japan, so
Yeah.
that's gonna
Oh
be
my god, it's
crazy.
gonna be insane. It's in some small venue too. I'm pretty sure, like, which is gonna that's gonna add to the aura.
Oh yeah, and you know John's gonna be like bleeding within 5 seconds.
These are the weirdest shows New Japan's like ever fucking booked. Independence Day on July 4th, but in Japan, but with their American talent. Like,
it's really
what?
weird because
what
when I
is
saw
going
the
on?
announcement for the
What
show,
is going
I
on?
literally assumed it was a New Japan Strong in the US show because it's like because of all the branding.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it's in
It's
Japan.
pretty hyped though, honestly. Like they look like they're doing good stuff. Eddie versus Kenta
That's gonna
looks
be
to be on it.
crazy.
I don't know if that's officially confirmed, but I mean it's gonna be on it. Did you hear? I think I posted it. Apparently, the reason that they went with the Independence Day name,
He likes the
like even though
movie.
it's in Japan,
Cheeto likes the movie.
because Gato apparently loves the movie Independence Day.
He's a weird dude, man. A weird dude. I do like that movie though, and that's such a like. It's gonna do well
I
though.
haven't
I
seen
mean,
it forever.
like that culture does love a lot of that like ultra American branding. ending. So I think like it's
Yeah,
gonna do well and it's gonna be interesting.
it's a
Yeah,
caricature to them,
it is.
honestly.
They're
You
gonna have
know,
fun.
like
It's gonna be great. I think the crowd's gonna be good for it.
yeah. I can't wait to see what else. I can't wait to see what Tom Lawler does, what Fred Rosser does, all the regulars that have never been over to Japan, like or
Yeah.
very rarely,
I
been
wonder if
there.
Juice is gonna be on the show. I wouldn't be surprised if he is.
That'd be cool, yeah, because I think the confirmed names are like Tanahashi, other than who we've already talked about, like
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston are like the big ones. But other than that, I don't think they confirmed any regular New Japan stuff. They showed like the West Coast Wrecking
Okay.
Crew was on the graphic too, which that's awesome because I forget their names. But one of them went over with Filthy for the G1 last year. It's like the second, basically, like how Tito did with
Right.
Jonah. And they wrestled the preview tags against each other, when they weren't in block action. And he did great in the G1. And they're both really good. That's one of my favorite teams in Strong. Like, it was one of the reasons I missed the regular weekly Strong show because I don't see them near as
You
much.
talking about Royce Isaacs?
Yeah. That's the guy that went to Japan, and I forget the.
I don't remember the other guy.
Jarrell Nelson. Jarrell Nelson.
That's the one I'm less familiar with him.
Yeah.
Royce, I've seen wrestling a few times. He's quite good.
Yeah, he was in Bloodsport.
Yeah, he was. That's right.
But yeah, you have anything else you want to add about the GCW show?
The GCW show. Oh man, I mean, I did want to talk about the fact that first of all, the match between Masha and Rena was insane. Like, absolutely.
Look, I saw some crazy ass fan got under the glass.
He did
when they did that big spot.
Great.
It looked so awesome.
And honestly, like it wasn't that different than the shot they had like for the venue. Like it was, the hard cam was right there. It was crazy. The whole tournament. Usually, I like death matches, but only death matches for me sometimes gets a bit too much. Like I want to watch variety.
Yeah, they get old to me, especially because they're trying to like one up. But I love it when it's just like
that's right. That's more my speed as well. But this tournament was awesome. I really enjoyed it. They actually did a lot of different stuff in every match. Everybody looked really good too. Like it was a great tournament, and the final was great.
I will say the last one I watched, I believe it was 2 years ago. I don't think I watched last year's, but I thought they did a really good job mixing up like the spots in all the death matches. Even though it was all death matches, they were doing crazy different stuff every match. So that made
so
it
like fun. I'll get to the main event stuff too, but the other major spot that happened in the weekend was Maki Ito and Nick Gage intercepted Steph Delander and Cardona. And Cardona took one of the nastiest light tube shot I've seen in a long time.
He had a lot.
It was a lot of blood, and like I've watched it a few times, and it was the same live. Like the second she cracks him,
she killed it.
His bag just drips blood right away, and it was a sick, awesome visual.
Ruined his indie god.
It did. He was mad about it. And he sold it perfectly. He cried like a baby. He fought an old man, which was hilarious. Like
I saw
the old man earlier in the night kind of like was getting in his face, and Matt just kind of went along with it. And then later on,
I kind of wonder if that was like a parody of like the XPW stuff.
You know what?
Has been legitimately fighting.
I didn't even think about that. And you might be right.
You know, Janela especially loves parodying.
Janela and Cardona is pretty hip to that kind of stuff, dude. They're pretty meta guys, so I could see that actually being a complete like spoof of that. But that was sick.
It happened again, like last night. I'm pretty sure.
What's
by
that?
the way,
it happened again.
It happened again at an XPW show.
That
tried to find another fan.
I'm not on this show to trash other promotions.
I don't know who, because I don't know any of those jobbers.
Me neither, but like, I don't like trashing promotions, but like that promotion's a joke.
It's pretty fucking trash. Like I'll watch the NWA, but I'll never watch.
Yeah, I mean, at least NWA has a.
Like I legitimately feel bad for Tessa. I do not think Tessa deserves to be there. I say whatever you want about Tessa, she does not.
I mean, I was expecting her.
Someone needs to give her a
NWA against Camille at least.
Literally, yes. Why is Billy Corgan?
I don't know, honestly. Like maybe because she's remorseful.
Actually kind of excited for that. Yeah. Well, he brought in Larissa Neto,
I know,
and I thought like that was the start of it. And they seem really high on her too. She, like just another little aside, and then we'll finally get to Impact. She was in a car accident, apparently. I haven't heard much more about it. She's okay, they said, but I only found out about it because of on the NWA show. She couldn't make it. They were like, yeah, she was in a car accident. I was like, It's like, what the fuck? But they're like, oh, she's okay now. She just couldn't wrestle though.
Yeah, that's
I was like,
I hadn't heard
okay,
about
I
that.
guess she's okay.
I hadn't heard about that, but
Yeah,
that's actually pretty
like what?
scary. So I'm glad she's all right because I
Yeah,
it's a good talent. They have a good. That's the one thing about NWA. They do have a good women's division. So,
yeah, I
yeah,
really like their women for the most
it's
part.
just too bad nobody watches it.
But so we can move on to Impact now though for these last 10 minutes because I mean we could talk about the whole card because I thought the show was
My
pretty
God,
good. I know
yeah.
you want to talk about that dog collar match probably, but we have to like just why the fuck did Alex Shelley win the title?
Because he's awesome. That's why.
where did that come from?
I don't know. And honestly, I should have been more smart to it because they pretty much told you all night he was going to win. Like all nights.
They did. I thought it was all red
Me
herring.
too.
I literally, I saw some more of it pointed out like on Twitter about like how it was kind of obvious and stuff, and I was like, no, I caught all of that. I literally caught
Me
every
too.
single one of these things. Like you people are pointing out, and like I wrote them off.
Well,
Like,
it's Alex
you know?
Shelley, and like it is also compounded by the fact that this is still the beginning of Macklin's reign. I thought they were going to push him forever. I'm not upset with this at all.
Such a good shock
This is
winning
a
though.
good kind of
This is how you do a good
yes,
swerve.
I
Like,
agree.
yeah,
A feel good
it's a
swerve.
feel good moment. It's what fans that watch currently will like. It's what fans that used to watch that haven't watched him forever are going to like too, because everyone loved the
Of
Machine Guns.
course, they're
Like,
a staple.
and they'll see that. I guarantee you, we're gonna get once people finally figure out that this happened, like maybe in a couple of days or so. People are gonna be like strolling in the Impact threads that never post there, like, oh, what the fuck, Shelly's champion?
Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome,
Like
you know.
I was gonna message Smart and let him know, but I'm gonna wait and see if he actually watches it. I don't know if he's an MC a Machine Gun Mark though. I'm assuming he is.
I actually can't remember specifically. Like you
I
think
would
he would be for
assume, but
sure,
sometimes he
though.
doesn't like certain people that I'm
Like,
like, oh, okay.
I feel like everyone is. Like I never hear anyone say anything bad about them.
I mean,
It's
especially
crazy.
like the Shelly stuff, like they went over the fact of all the major other champions that he's made, including Okada, Seth Rollins.
That was great that they
Yeah,
did all
they
that.
played a few
They're able
times.
to get footage of most of
Yeah,
them too. Like they even have footage of like Gargano and Rollins they could
they
show.
did, and most of it, like a lot of the footage was from Impact, too, which I thought was pretty cool. Like even the Okada, some of the
Yeah,
Okada stuff.
yeah. No, I think it was all
So
Impact
that's
footage,
cool.
even though Okada won.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like even
I
though
was like,
Okada.
what? But yeah, like I mean, what a feel good moment, like you said. I didn't see it coming at all. I think we all said the same thing at the beginning of the show. It was like, this is what we all want, but none of us are expecting to get. We're all expected to be
I
defeated.
barely even gave Saban a
Me neither.
chance to win.
Trey's been
Like
on a freaking
with the quick
roll.
rematch there, I was like, please let him win because it was such a quick rematch. Like it was 2 week turnaround. Like, and then the Shelly got a 2 week fucking build,
I can't believe
and
it.
I didn't even care. It was
I,
amazing. Like he had two promos. I posted them both. Like there was a video mashup where they're like, "What's next for the Motor City Machine Guns?" And Saban's like, "Yeah, I'm about to get this X Division title because dude Trey's pissing me off." And Shelly's like, people keep telling me I'm like the best dude to never win the
maybe I should
world
just do
title,
it.
so I'm gonna go do that. And then he walked away, and I was like, "What the
Yeah, it
fuck?"
was awesome. Like I saw that. I saw the
And then
specific
the
one.
other
It
one,
was great.
yeah, it was like Bully was like, "Do you think you can beat this guy?" He just goes, "Yep,"
Yeah. Okay. So that's why he has the
and he
Yup
did.
shirt. I guess that's all that is.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like bro, I was like going so crazy at the end. Like it's like the way they booked the match, you could tell like Shelly was going so over
He
the top,
was.
like with his like reactions, like acting. I was like, oh my god, he's doing this just to make it hurt more when he loses. Was my first
Yep.
thoughts on that. And then it's like the way the match just got booked though, like when Macklin hit the exposed turnbuckle the first time, I was like, oh, he's really about to win because I was like, that's the out, like to
Yeah.
protect Macklin right there. And but then he like kicked out, fought off that again, and I
Okay.
was like,
He's
oh
winning.
fuck, they're by it again. Shelly's gonna hit it this time. That's gonna
Yeah,
be
that would
it.
have made sense.
And but then Macklin like speared, Goldberg himself into it basically. And when he hit it that second time, I was like, "Oh, that's it! Like it's over!" Like, and he
It was
ends up hitting, what he hit basically the Blade Runner, but I know he calls it with
shell
the shell
shock. Shell
shock,
shock.
right?
Yeah.
And like that was just crazy. Like I can't believe they did that.
I love this match, man. And like,
It was a good ass match, like overall too. Like Macklin looked amazing.
yeah, and like I was a bit like it's weird. I was having a weird night last night where I was kind of like I was having trouble getting into some parts of the pay-per-view. Not through the faults of the pay-per-view at all. Like I was just kind of tired and I was like having one of those nights.
The crowd was
It
kind of
was.
dead
It
at times
was
too, and then they would like
hot for certain
really get
things.
hot for like random shit
Like
too, for the most
Trinity. They
part.
they were
It's
super
kind of
hot for
odd.
Trinity, but then not hot for some other hot parts of the match. It was
Yeah,
really weird.
they loved that street fight too, just because they could chant all their stupid
Oh
Ohio
my oh, that's right. They were in
chants.
Ohio.
That was a good
It
match
was.
though. That was actually a good choice for a semi main event. Like
It was.
just being in Ohio and everything, it
But,
came
like,
off
I
really
wasn't
well.
expecting the Shelly win at all, and, like, it actually literally made my night. Like, I was like I walked away from that show so happy. I'm like, "See, this is the kind of swerve I
Bro,
love."
yes.
Like, I love being tricked into thinking that he had absolutely no
No
chance.
one ever thinks about the feel good
No, it's
swerve.
true.
It's always like the, "Oh, this person's evil, all along," stuff like
That
that.
jerk,
Like, they don't ever
yeah.
think about the times you're actually swerved for
I
good
know.
reasons, not swerved for, like, heel turns and stuff.
So the only
Like,
question I have is, like, what's next for Macklin, though?
I really don't know either. I think they could actually pull off a face run. I'd have to look at the roster to see,
Right.
like, what's more needed, like, faces or heels, because that's, like, more important in Impact than most companies. But because he's had like some run-ins with Bully Ray recently. I know everyone was like worried about Bully challenging for the title because of it. But a face Macklin versus Bully, I think, would actually be
Could
a
be
good feud.
interesting. Yeah, they could kind of
And that's an easy way to getting back over as
they
a
could
face.
kind of, like,
Like,
implode after the, most likely he'll be doing something with Scott D'Amore or whatever again, and probably implode with Bully after that,
yeah, I'm actually not sure how that's gonna work.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense.
I don't know. Because they're not doing a rematch. They're doing Aldis at Slammiversary, which I expected. I
Right.
thought it'd be Aldis Macklin, so that's crazy. And Aldis might just win, which that's fine.
I could
Like
yeah.
I'm not gonna be
No, me
mad.
neither.
I'll be cheering for
Me
Shelly
too.
still though. I'm not gonna lie,
I
but
prefer Shelley to win.
Aldis winning the belt again is definitely a good move at some point, even if it's not Slammy.
Yeah,
So
I mean, the match is
we'll
great,
see.
and, like,
But
with Macklin too, like, I think he's gonna have to, like, fight sometimes. I think the ultimate end game is for him to get the match with Josh. Still think that's, like, the end game for that.
and I mean, we don't know his contract status either. That's always an issue with
That's
Impact
true.
sometimes too. I mean, I
That's true.
doubt I doubt it's like really soon.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they like took the belt off of him because he didn't
I haven't
resign
heard
and he's
anything like
leaving
that,
now or
no.
anything like that. But like I don't know when it is. It could be just in like 3 months or 6 months or what.
Yeah, and I
They're always
they
shorter
are,
term
and I
usually.
could
So.
see him and Deanna most likely, like, having their terms kind of, like, end together because I assume they're kind of like
Yeah,
a
I could
pseudo
definitely see that.
package deal kinda thing, right? Makes sense for them.
Hmm.
So that was one I did wanna talk about the women's match, but also like, the Sabin match was probably my match of the night. That match was amazing. Like,
That was really good. Trey had a good X Division
he
title run. I think this was what his
one
second
of
or
the
third,
best,
but this one was really
and,
good.
like,
Yeah.
I loved all the like, I won't spend too much time on it, but just I loved all the callbacks to all the X Division
Hmm.
champions that he did. That's when I was starting to
It
feeling
was kind of, they did the same thing with Josh when Josh
that's
won the
right.
title for
It's a
the
very
first time.
Impact thing.
But I don't even care that they repeated it. Like that's awesome. That was a good, that's a good
Yeah,
formula to
I
do
think
every now and
Josh
then.
did it when it was their throwback show pretty much, right? It was like 'cause, like, that whole show was like that was the theme of the show too, was, like, a lot of callbacks
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah. It was 20
of
years of
Impact. Yeah, so
Impact
it
and
made a lot of
everything.
sense, and for this case, it
Yeah,
was for his ninth title win, so it made a lot of sense for him to go
it was that, and the story was how disrespectful Trey had been to the X Division title
right,
this
because
year.
he
So it's
tagged
kind
it
of he
too.
was defending the honor of all the past champions,
Oh,
kind of thing.
that's even better. That's awesome,
Yeah,
actually. And then, yeah, like, so that was awesome,
yeah,
and
it
then
was really cool.
the collar match was just
That thing was brutal.
a
Like
great
honest,
match. Like, honestly, like, it was one of the best women's matches I've watched all year, period. Like, it was that good. It was brutal. Kelly's selling is I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like she, she like looks like she's enjoying it, but also in a lot of pain. And you make her, so you still feel
yes.
bad for her.
They're probably just really hitting each other,
Yeah,
honestly. That's natural
yeah,
reactions.
and like I don't know, man. Her facials are just amazing. She's a talent I wasn't really like aware of until recently, and like I think she's got like obviously Masha's got a lot of potential. We've talked about that ability for a bunch of time, but Kelly herself too. I think she's got something. Like she could be really good. I think she could be a really good baby face.
Hey, real quick, I got something we can end on just because Sasha actually just posted it
Yeah.
in some thread. I don't even know what thread I'm in. But this is from Lucha Blog. It's just a Reddit post, but quoting him. It says on Facebook, Roosh announced that he and his father have quit AAA immediately and are back to being independents. And her comment is LIJ reunion at Forbidden Door 2? Question mark. Could you imagine?
So what does that mean for Andrade too?
I think Andrade's been done with them, but I don't even know what's going on with him. He literally just pissed everyone
Yeah, Andrade kind of wanted.
He was talking shit about AAA and CMLL. Like, I don't even know what's going on. He's wrestling for like, is it the Crash? I know he has a his return match like 2 days before Collision. He's already booked.
Yeah,
something.
you're right. It's a Mexican promotion, but
I don't remember if it's the Crash
it's
or
not
not.
AAA or CMLL though.
It's a small one. Yeah, it's a small one.
That's
the Crash is the one that I think like Bandito wrestles on a lot.
That makes sense
too.
That
But it may
makes
not be
sense.
them. Maybe a different one. Yeah.
Man, I don't really know what to say about that. Like, that's actually huge. Rush leaving AAA is.
But Bandito's done too. That was news a couple of days
With
ago.
AAA?
Apparently, it was. Yeah, they told him something. I think it was a Crash show. Like, if you worked it, like we're done or something, and he worked it.
And
So
Tony just like repaired the relationship with AAA too. It's gonna fuck
I know.
shit up.
I mean,
man.
Hey, he gave him Kenny. Like Conan literally can't say shit.
That's true.
about
He's
that.
still booked. Right?
When is that show? By the way, is that July or is that this
I
month?
forgot that was
too?
still happening.
I'm gonna watch that. I've pre-bought that paper.
I mean, you can't really not watch at least that match.
Yeah, I didn't watch the April Triple Mania. Actually, I just realized that it was like the same night as like an NXT show or something. I think.
Man.
But maybe an Impact show. I think it was the same night of an Impact show. I don't remember, but I never even ended up watching it. But it was like whatever. But I'm gonna have to watch this.
Yeah. But man, if they can manage, I just don't know how that's gonna affect like CML. Like, if is him quitting AAA gonna be like make CMLL be like, okay, fine, or are they gonna like hold on to that blood feud forever? I don't know. But I would love to see Rush and like if not Andrade, at the very least, like I do think Rush deserves to be on Forbidden Door. Like, he's been really good, man.
It'd be so awesome, yeah. But I think we can wrap up there.
We'll wrap it up there.
Been a good week, and what do we got for next week? What's going on
for next week?
We don't got any major shows, really, do we?
I don't think that. I think it's finally a weekend with no major pay-per-views or something like anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, because let's say like all I'm watching this weekend is the UFC pay-per-view. I'm pretty sure I'll put that on tonight. But I mean, even that looks like, bro, it's honestly one of the weakest they've ever put on.
What's the main event for UFC?
It's Amanda Nunes defending against Irene Aldana, who's like a replacement for a replacement. I think.
So
they've had some really.
bad Nunes is going to destroy her.
Every time I look at the card, they've removed another fight. I don't know for injuries or what. But yeah, that's the
cursed card
prediction. But who knows? You could see an update or an upset. I mean, there's a Charles Oliveira match that's the only one I'm really looking forward to against Benil Darush. They're pretty high ranked, and Oliveira, like, he had a bad loss last time. It's like the first one he's had in a while. So kind of interested to see how he bounces back. But after that, I might go to bed before the main event.
Yeah,
But I can't think of any other wrestling. Next weekend, because Japan's pretty much taking it easy till the G1 starts. They're doing a few tour shows, but I'm probably skipping those.
Yeah, I'm looking at even just this weekend, and I don't even know if there's a GCW show.
We got I guess the Collision debut is next Saturday.
That's big.
That's just gonna be a week. That's gonna be a weekly TV show though, so I'm not really counting it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, that's gonna be big. That's gonna be real big.
Yeah, WWE's next show is not till that's Money in the Bank, right? And that's like the first week of July, I believe.
Yeah, and there's no GCW this week at all either. So it's
Forbidden Doors the 25th. Yeah. So yeah, well, I mean,
probably gonna start seeing some build soon. I think Japan's on tour until the 16th or something like that.
New Japan is they're doing their New Japan Road tour. I know that they've already released the cards, but I assume it's just basic.
So after that, we could possibly see some New Japan talent.
Depends on who's booked too. I haven't looked at the cards,
but we could see it, which means we could potentially see some New Japan at that Collision show. It's possible.
Yeah, well, a lot of guys are going to be in Mexico soon because they're doing Fantastica Mania in Mexico for the first time in like forever. And So I know like Naito's there, and I know Lucha Blog's been saying, like Cubs fan on Twitter, he's been saying he's like, these guys are not coming to Mexico just for these random CMLL shows. And so I trust him. He's like, they're clearly here to appear on Dynamite.
Oh,
So,
well.
like, he's convinced
If
of it.
Nino shows up on Dynamite, I will lose my shit. Like,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, we can wrap it up there, I think.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll actually get to some WWE.
Yeah,
stuff.
we should. I honestly wanted to today, especially with the set stuff. Maybe we'll talk about going 2 hours.
We'll schedule like an actual WWE.
Yeah,
time
for
next
sure,
week
for sure.
because they're gonna have some stuff. They'll have a full, probably more of a full Money in the Bank lineup.
It might
to
even be
talk about.
completed by then, actually. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
All right. Well, sounds good. So I will see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.